few years back, I had a young black man in our congregation text me about the pain he was going through. Every time he turned on the news, it seemed like there was another person of color who had died for no good reason. He didn't understand it, and he didn't know what to do, and I didn't either. But, being a white middle-class pastor, I didn't find myself experiencing the same kind of fear. And it was his fear that caught me off guard, because while I had been following the news and speaking up about racism in the church, I had viewed the stories that were happening around the nation as, well, stories, things that were happening out there somewhere. I'd yet to realize that for many of my dark-skinned friends, these stories weren't just stories. They were cautionary tales. They were stacks of evidence of what might happen to them beyond what they had already experienced. So as I texted with my friend that night, I realized that what might just be a horrible story to me, it was a part of a wider narrative that my friend had surely already experienced in some way and had now internalized on a deeper level. Within time, I started to notice racism in my own thinking. For example, you know that feeling in your gut that you get when you speed by a cop? I got that one night when I sped by a cop in the neighborhood that I was in. But then I suddenly realized what neighborhood I was in and felt like my whiteness would protect me from getting pulled over. When you stop and take every thought captive like that, trust me, the Holy Spirit will convict you. When I can see that racism in myself, I can more clearly see it in the racism of others. And the world needs us more than ever before to see it in ourselves so that we can put a complete end to it. And see people of all races as Jesus saw them. For Jesus extended salvation not just to the people of his own race and nation, but to every single person and race on the face of the earth. The book of Revelation takes great pride and joy in the fact that people of every race will be found in heaven. In fact, that's what Pentecost Sunday today is all about. We focus so much on the outpouring of the Holy Spirit in this passage that we sometimes forget that when the Holy Spirit manifested on Pentecost Sunday, he empowered the church to go reach people of all nations with the ability to speak in their languages. God supernaturally communicated diversity. See, Pentecost Sunday is a celebration of God's love for diversity, along with the empowerment of the Holy Spirit. And so we must follow God's heart and continue to break down the racism around us, first in ourselves and then in others, offering the salvation of Jesus along the way. When I'm looking for answers on this difficult subject, I don't turn solely to any current or past leader, any current or past organization, even though there's plenty of great ones to turn to. Instead, as a Christian, I turn first and foremost to Jesus, and particularly to the Sermon on the Mount, which teaches us to fight injustice with the backwards politics of the kingdom of heaven, and to stand strong in methods that make little earthly sense. I encourage you in this time not to trust fully in any other framework than that of God in flesh, and Jesus himself. His tactics are not outdated. His tactics are not too weak. He is the way, the truth, and the life. And may his way be used to convict both ourselves and others.